welcome back to the Anime Analysis Arena. I'm Tiara.
And I'm Haley.
All right, and today we're going to talk about Haikyu, which is a volleyball game. Volleyball show. All right, so to start it off, okay. So there are typically four main positions that we really talk about in volleyball. So there are the setters, the wing spiker, the middle blocker, and the libero. I think that's what it is. But
that's how Professor Cooper pronounced
it.
So that's how we're going to pronounce it. They pronounce it libero in the show, or at least libero. In the English version. So Professor Cooper says libero, so that's what we're going to say.
All right, so just to start it off, we're going to talk about the couple of characters that we do really highlight in the show. So first, we're going to talk about the setter, which is Kageyame. So pretty much the setter is the person that orchestrates the attacks. They are the playmaker of the volleyball team and are their responsibility is pretty much to run the team's attack and build the potential scoring opportunities. So then we're going to talk about our middle blocker, which is, I can't pronounce his name at the moment.
Sugashima.
Yeah.
You can call him Suki.
Yeah.
That's what they call him in the show. They just say Suki.
Because at the moment I cannot speak correctly. So Suki is the middle blocker. So the middle blocker is they're near the net in the middle of the court.
They play front court?
Yeah.
Or the front side of the
court? The front side of the
He's
court.
right on the net, basically.
Yeah, they're between the two outside blockers. They are primarily responsible for blocks. And yeah, just pretty much their name, the middle blocker. And then the libero is Nishinoya. So they are responsible for receiving and attack or serve and are usually the player on the court with the quickest reaction time and best passing skills, which he was really good at that, now that I recall that.
Yeah. He made some really nice saves. He has his own move called Rolling Thunder, where he rolls on the ground like a somersault and he shoots his arm out to receive the ball.
Okay, so next we have our wing spiker, which is Tanaka. So the wing spiker responsibility is to pretty much kind of service the libero. They are pretty much they're usually the ones who attack with the ball, which the setter sets to. Yeah,
the setter typically sets the volleyball to the wing spiker, which they come in and attack or make a kill with the volleyball on the other side of the net.
Yeah, so we have the left wing spiker and we also have a right wing spiker. And then we have our ace. So the ace is responsible. Who is the ace?
Ace is Asahi.
Yeah.
The ace is just another fancy term for wing spiker.
Mm-hmm.
In the show, they just they call Asahi the ace because he's the best spiker on the team, and that's the most desired for position on the volleyball teams, at least in the show.
Yep. And then we got Hinata, which is pretty much
he's the main character.
Hinata is he's technically the decoy.
They call him a decoy because him and Kageyama, they're the main two that the show focuses on, have worked together a lot and wound up coming with this thing called a quick attack, which basically what happens is Kageyama will act like he's setting somewhere else, and then Hinata will run around and spike the ball down.
And doesn't Hinata want to be the ace?
Yeah, and Hinata wants to be the ace.
Oh yeah, also Hinata is the shortest one on the team.
Nishinoya is, but a couple centimeters.
Couple of centimeters, but yeah, he's really small.
They're both the smallest on the team, and Hinata, being as short as he is,
But I think the aces aren't aces typically.
They're the wing spikers are typically tall.
Tall, yeah, that's why.
But the thing with Hinata is he have training by himself because in middle school he didn't have a volleyball team on his middle school, a boys volleyball team at least. But his high school that he goes to does have a boys volleyball. So for his entire elementary and middle school career, he just wanted to play volleyball. So the girls' team will let him practice with him sometimes, and he has developed this extremely high jump that helps him being short be able to spike the ball as well as he does. So like someone short would be like the libero, like Nishinoya.
All right, and then the last person that they really focus on, well, it's many other characters that they talk about, but the last one they really talk about is Yamaguchi, which is the pinch server, and the pinch server are like switched into the game to get an advantage over the opponents or at a crucial time, usually near like match points. So that kind of is self-explanatory too. So kind of just put him in when you're supposed to put him in at the right time, but. Yeah, so those are the main people that we really talk about. Of course, like I said, there's other characters that's...
Like we also have Sugawara or Suga. He's a third-year setter. He was the team setter before Kageyama came along, and thanks to his like amazing skill at setting, he took over Sugawara's position, and Suga's kind of like a sub at this point for Kageyama. You also have Daichi, who's the captain, and he's also a wing spiker, who is also... They're both also very prominent in the show. But of course, they have other characters on this team, but they're not really shown much. They're just kind of like, for filler characters, so you have some more like people in the background and things. They all have names, and I think they all have their positions too, but they're not really touched on as much, at least until later in the show. Well, to the point where I think they are touched on in the manga, but that part hasn't been animated yet. And then you also, obviously, we have other teams we get to meet and focus on. Like my personal favorite team is called Nekoma, and their captain's my favorite. He's also a middle blocker, and they also have a setter, which they talk about a lot. His name is Kenma, and then there's another one, Fukurodani, and they have an ace who is their captain, and he's one of the top 3, I guess you could say, wing spikers in Japan in the show, and that's talked on a lot because he does serve as a mentor to Hinata at some point. And, they also have another setter on that team they focus on a lot. But Haikyu, the show itself, essentially follows Hinata and his journey to becoming a professional volleyball player. The manga has ended, but the anime is still catching up. They just did, I found this out this morning, they just did confirm another movie.
Oh, yeah?
Which, personally, I'm not happy about. They need to just keep continuing as a show, but apparently they're going to make everything into movies now.
Yeah, because I remember when they said that the show, we were done with that. I didn't know they were continuing to make movies.
They are. They're coming up with a movie, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be the match between Hinata and another character they introduced in like season 4. I can't remember his name, but he kind of looks like a seagull. It's kind of funny.
A seagull.
But he's also like short like Hinata, basically has the same goals, the same drive as Hinata. So it's basically he's about to play himself. From what I've heard, is what I know. That's what this movie is going to feature. I don't know what else it's going to feature. But the show does follow him and his journey to be a professional volleyball player, and he meets all these other people along the way who help him learn. And obviously, like the 2 other teams I mentioned, Nekoma and Fukurodani, they did a couple years ago come out with a movie which is called Battle for the Garbage Dump or something like that, which is the infamous Kurasuno, which is Hinata's team.
Yeah, that's
Kurasuno versus Nekoma. Is this huge rivalry that's gone on for years between the 2 schools. Like, most schools have these huge rivalries, like, Troy and South Alabama. When we became a Division I school, that was our big rival in football. The movie followed that entire match, but these people have met before and have helped each other train. So not only were they playing like as rivals, but they're also playing as friends. So the win and the loss, which I'm not going to say who won, who lost, but the win and the loss was emotional for everybody on those teams, and even as a viewer watching since season 1, was it even like extremely emotional for myself.
Yeah, no. When I first started watching the show, I can say it made me, because I started watching this like I think my senior year of high school, and it like made me really realize like how much I could have played volleyball. Like it makes you really want to actually, because like watching it and like it teaches you also like the positions, and like pretty much it just makes you want to learn about the sport really, because as a person that knows a little bit about volleyball, it just made me feel like I missed off, like, I don't know, opportunity to play volleyball, because it brought it back, because I used to play when I was younger. So I was like, oh my gosh, like this show really brings up a fire.
When I was in high school, I had a bunch of guy friends, but it was because we were in a different program than everyone else in our high school, but we would come to university and we'd play volleyball. I sucked. Like, I was terrible. I only played just because we wanted to play. But then right at the end of my senior year of high school, literally right before we were about to graduate, we found out I could have been a setter. I could have been a good setter this whole time. Because my
Yes.
friend wanted to practice his spikes. So he was like, Haley, come with me to the rec center and come help me with my spikes. You need to come set the ball for me. So I'm like, okay. So I just kind of copied what Kageyama did to the best of my ability. And I did it. I was great. I was fantastic. But even though I'm not that great at sports, the last sport I played was soccer, and I was like 10, unless you count marching band. But that's a whole controversial. That's a big
Right,
whole
that's
other
a big
separate.
controversy.
That's a controversy, a whole other topic. Unless you count that, then I haven't played a sport in like 10 years, pretty much. Unless you also count like your units in PE and stuff.
Yeah, no, I haven't played like a sport. I mean, when I was in ROTC, we would play basketball or something, but other than that, like, no, I haven't played a sport since like middle school, like actively.
Yeah.
Well, I did. Hold on, ninth grade year, I did play a little bit of soccer. That was only because I was filling in for somebody. I wasn't even on the team. Don't know how that happened, but
That's crazy.
yeah, no, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I haven't really, because I wasn't really a big sports person, anyways. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
the only ones that I really did like was basketball and volleyball. Those was the only ones that I
Yeah.
would sit
See,
and
if I
watch.
could go back and play a sport, it
Oh
probably
yeah,
would
it
be
would be
volleyball.
volleyball, most definitely.
Yeah. Even though,
I don't know, because I guess with volleyball, especially playing it with people that like make it fun. Because when I would play it, because yeah, we like what's the place? I don't know what it's called, but it's across from the school. Um,
I know what you're talking about.
we used to play it out there a lot.
Yeah. I know
And
what you're
then
talking about.
yeah, yeah. And then it was really there. Then we used to play it at school a lot, but I really did enjoy it because like it taught me how to play it, and like I feel like, if I would have just continued to do it, then I probably would have just
like
tried out.
if I played with people like the people like in Haikyu who not only they would make fun of you for like messing up, but they would do it in good fun. They weren't actually making fun of you, but they would make it fun and they would help you learn and like be with you along the way. Even like their coaches. We don't talk about their coaches.
Oh yeah,
their coaches, Coach Yukai and their teacher, Takeda, who's like their sponsor. They also played a huge part in this. Like the coach Yukai, he played for Karasuno when he was in high school, and his granddad was a coach, and he comes back and coaches, and uses his knowledge to help the team grow. As well as their teacher Takeda, who does all like the networking to get all of these practice matches going and all those good things. And they have a manager, and her name is Kyoko. She also helps a lot.
Oh yeah,
and their new manager they have coming in, her name is Yachi. So
yeah, no,
there's a whole bunch of characters we could go in and explore, but we're running low on time.
Yeah,
but there's like a whole bunch of things. If we could have as much time as we wanted, you could go and we could talk about each individual character on Karasuno and some of the other teams as well. But watching a show like that really makes you want to get into the sport, especially when they make it look as fun as they do, even in the middle of their matches.
Also, with teaching, like it also like they talk about their positions and stuff a lot too. It's a great way to, like, if you're into stuff like that, it's a great way to really learn like the positions and learn like how fun the sport actually is. But
the only thing with watching a sports anime is you're gonna have your like differences. Like in America, we don't really have an ace on our volleyball teams, so an ace is just essentially a very good wing spiker.
Yeah.
So you just have to like kind of translate some things over and be like, okay, well they do it this way here in Japan, at least the anime is speaking of it this way. How do we do it like this in America? And it works like that in like all sports animes. Like we'll be talking about Blue Lock next week, which is a soccer anime. And I think they use the term striker, which in our class we were told not to use striker, I think. So that's another thing you have to take into consideration.
But yeah, no. Well, that's gonna wrap us up for
for Haikyu, we'll be talking about Blue Lock, which is a soccer anime next week. Or not next week, but like, the next show.
Alrighty.
See you guys next time.
See you guys later.